I created some amazing gel prints this week with wet, watery paint and a ghost print. So here's what I'm using today. I'm using golden fluid acrylics, Payne's Gray, fluorescent magenta, and manganese blue. I'm using one of my Klimt Scribbles and Doodles collection stencils that I will give you the name of in the description box below the video. I'm using my 9x12 gel plate and my 9x12 sketch rice paper by Yasutomo. I love this paper for collage because it glues down flat. It's highly absorbent, so it absorbs the glue and glues down nice and flat. It tears beautifully and it works great on the gel plate. So I'm going to take a couple sheets of that out, and what I'm going to do first is create a ghost print from this stencil pattern. So I want to have the Payne's Gray paint in this pattern. So not in the negative spaces, but the positive spaces. So I'm going to create a ghost print. Now, because in a ghost print process, some of the paint sticks to the back of the stencil, I'm going to lay the Payne's Gray a little bit heavier than I normally would for gel printing, because I want to make sure I get a good ghost print and a solid ghost print. And I know that some of that paint is going to stick to the back of the stencil. So this is a bit heavier application of the fluid acrylic. And the key is to work quickly so it doesn't have long to stick to the back of the stencil. So we're going to put that in. We're going to take the rice paper. We're going to put the smooth side down onto the plate, and you can feel the smooth side really easily. I'm using my Red Baron, my Speedball Red Baron, to add pressure evenly and out to all corners and edges. And then I'm just going to use my fingertips to get into some of the more tiny laser cut details of this stencil. And then I'm going to look and make sure that I got the paint out of the openings. So I'm going to make sure there's no more paint in the openings on the plate. Okay, so I've got this, which will be a layer for another print. And here I've got the ghost print. And you see there is paint on the back of the stencil, but I've got pretty good coverage there because I went a little heavy and I worked kind of quickly. So now I'm going to print that ghost print onto a clean sheet of paper. And I'm going to use my Baron to get real good pressure so I can pick up as much of that print as possible. I hope I didn't wait too long because it is warm out here. And speaking of that, your gel printing and your drying times are always going to be dependent upon your environment, whether it's hot or cold or humid or dry, whether you've got a fan on or an air conditioning vent. So keep that in mind. Okay, so here I've got a really good print, and how beautiful is that? So that's good. It's a little light here, but for the purpose of demonstrating, it'll work perfectly. So now this is beautiful, and I really want to pull that. So I'm going to take another piece of rice paper because it'll also clean my plate so that I can put it away clean. And I'm going to put on it the manganese blue. And we're just going to get that print to pull up with the Payne's Gray and the manganese blue, and that'll be another good layer for another print, and it will also clean my plate. So I really don't ever want to wipe the paint off of the plate and throw it away. I always want to pull it into a print that I can add more layers to later and make something beautiful. So let's see how we go. So see, it's clearing the plate. And if you see that there's more paint left, you can always add more pressure, especially out to the edges and the corners. And so now I have a clean plate and I have a very unique base layer for another print. Look at that. That is some fun stuff. That could be really cool. Okay, so now I'm going to take my plate out of the way and I'm going to bring out a sheet of palette paper. So I can kind of contain the wet, watery paint. So I've got some water in a bucket here and a paintbrush. And now I'm going to use my magenta, my fluorescent magenta, and more of the manganese blue. So I picked these two colors because when they mix, they're going to create a beautiful purple. So I'm going to add water to my brush, and my water is a little bit dirty, so it's already turning this colors. And let me grab some clean water. The water was just a little bit blue, so it's already making it purple. So that's all right. I can also add some more over here if I want to get a pure. Okay, so now we're just going to brush on top of this sheet with water, and it is going to soak through this highly absorbent rice paper. So now I'm going to add the blue, overlap to get that beautiful purple that I was hoping for, and some more water, and some more pink and blue, and some more pink right out to the edges here. I love the way these colors mix and make such a pretty purple, but I also like them on their own. So it's a nice combo of like blue and pink and purple, and who doesn't like that? So this rice paper is pretty substantial. It's not going to tear as a result of all this water. And we're working on the palette sheet so that it can sit here and dry. Let's get a little more blue. So that it can sit here and dry, and then it'll peel right off because this is a coated shiny palette paper. So I get a little bit more blue, put that in here. So we have this beautiful kind of purpley blue print with the black ghost print. And the beautiful thing about this is the color, because of this Yasutomo sketch rice paper is so highly absorbent. The color, oh, we got a little spot there. The color is going to soak all the way through this sheet. So we've got color all the way through now. And so when I tear this for collage or paper crafts or whatever I'm going to use it for, when I tear it, I'm not going to have any white edges. I'm going to have completely colored edges. So you could print another gel print layer on top of this, or you could leave it as it is. I love it like this with the marbled color of the pink and the manganese blue. And I like the Payne's gray as opposed to black. It's a very nice, dark, rich color that is close to black, but it's not black. So because it's a bluish black, it's right in the family of the blues and the purples and the pinks. So this is going to be a beautiful sheet of collage paper that when it tears has colored edges, and on the palette sheet, I can set it aside and work on another one without occupying my desk surface. So I hope you find that inspiring, and I hope you will go on to make your own beautiful rice paper with color that soaks all the way through and this kind of beautiful marbled color combination. And in the interest of using the other sheet, here's the first sheet that I printed that is not the ghost print. So let's try this one with a different color combination. So here I'm going to do a little, let's see, manganese blue and primary yellow. Now those are going to make green, but they'll also be pretty on their own. So again, water, enough water to get the paint to soak right through the paper. And I'm going to lay in some blue first. Let's get a little more pigment in there. I'm going to lay in some blue clean. Then I'm going to clean my brush, and it's definitely going to make the yellow a little bit green. But then I'm going to lay in some yellow clean. And then I'm going to brush them over each other. So I'll put some yellow over the blue and create that green. Let's get a little more yellow. You need to make sure you have enough water to get it to go all the way through. But here we're going to have a totally different color combo that also works quite nice with the Payne's gray print. So now I can mix these and make a bit of a green. So there you go. And again, I have the color soaking all the way through except for right there. So that's a big area of the Payne's gray. So let's just add some more pigment to the top of that. And these heavier areas, a little bit more water. Check it before you let it dry. And sometimes, you know, you can just come into the back here. There we go. So now, again, I've got a second sheet that's going to have color all the way through, so I don't have any white edges. And I've got two beautiful color combinations. Well, I hope you're inspired to create your own wet watercolory gel prints, and I will see you back here next week.